Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 DC sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The film is directed by James Wan and stars Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, Amber Heard, Nicole Kidman, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, as well as Dolph Lundgren and Martin Short. This is the sequel to the hugely successful first film, and this time focuses on Jason Momoa's Arthur Curry, also known as Aquaman. He is now the king of Atlantis. He has a young child. Things are going pretty well for him, even though he's not enjoying ruling Atlantis. And he has an old enemy, Black Manta, who has, since he was defeated in the first film, he's been looking for new weapons that he can use to kill Arthur after to avenge the death of his father. He kind of comes across this powerful weapon that is possessed by a demon that promises him ultimate power, and he decides he's going to use this power to kill Aquaman, destroy Atlantis, but Arthur has to team up with his old enemy from the first film, his brother, played by Patrick Wilson, and they have to team up to take out this new threat. Right, what are my thoughts on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? Well, as per usual, this film has been getting a lot of negativity, as pretty much every Marvel or DC film has been getting, certainly this year. It's not doing well at the box office. It's liable, very much like everything else this year, in regards to superhero properties, to end up losing money. Does the film warrant some of the critical feedback it's getting? Quite frankly, no. I think this film, while it's not a masterpiece or anything like that, it's a very, very entertaining superhero film with a very charismatic lead with Jason Momoa at the heart of it, and it stands very comfortably next to the first film. But that's not to say that the film doesn't have issues. It does have issues, but you could argue that the first film had issues, but it was still wildly successful. I'm going to go through some of the things that I think this film struggles with initially. I mean, some of the dialogue's pretty terrible. It's some lazy storytelling, in a sense of, the villain here is not just Black Manta, but is kind of possessed by this ancient evil, and it's just, here's this weapon, take it, it'll give you lots and lots of power while I corrupt you from within, sort of thing. It's something we've seen time and time again, and it's just a way to kind of get Black Manta to be more powerful than he was in the first film. So but it's kind of, as good as a villain as Black Manta is, it feels like it's just kind of rehashing much of the first film. So weak villains, I think it's not got going for it really, and it's a fairly bland story. I think the film could have done much more with the storyline between Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. These two brothers. They were essentially at war in the first film, and that was the real heart of that film. And the fact that he has to team up with his brother to kind of eliminate this new threat to Atlantis. I don't think they reached the potential of that story here in this film. There's obvious chemistry between Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa. There's some good humour between the two of them, and I just feel as though it really could have done something quite special with that here in this film and made it really the central piece, and it doesn't feel like it's the central piece of the film. The film feels too messy, and at times, that in regards to the storytelling, and far too focused on CGI at times, and the story gets so messy at times here in the film. You've got these massive bits of exposition that are dumped on you to kind of catch you up with the film and what's going on, and to me again it just shows that it's lazy storytelling. And at times it's so messy the CGI in regards to some of the battle scenes or whatever. It feels like you're watching a cartoon at times, and I just think, and I've said this before on recent reviews and recent videos, that they just need to scale back on the budgets. They don't need to just throw everything at it, you know, and see what sticks, because it just ends up looking messy and unrealistic at times. But beyond that, really, that's the end of the negatives. I mean, some people will be watching this film just to see how much Amber Heard is in it so they can have a moan online. Get over yourselves is what I would say. She's not in it a great deal, and it's quite clear that she's had her part cut down to, you know, please the naysayers out there. You know, whatever she's done in her private life, whatever, you know what I mean, she's an actress at the end of the day, and she should be allowed to ply her trade. But yeah, she's not in it a great deal, but that feels odd, because he's got a young son now, a baby, and at times you kind of think like, well, where's the mother? And then they figure out a way to kind of write her out of the plot when she gets injured in the movie and stuff like that. But beyond that, it's not overly an exciting film in that sense. You know, there are some fun battle scenes and stuff like that, but it just, I don't know, it didn't feel like it tapped into the excitement of the first film at times, and it felt like it was kind of going over familiar ground with this one. But there were definitely some high points, you know what I mean. As I've said, the relationship between Arthur Curry and Patrick Wilson's character King Om was really, really very well done, and one of the high points for me was when he breaks him out of prison. And there's some impressive CGI there, you know, because they make Patrick Wilson look withered and skinny and stuff, and then when he gets back to the ocean, he gets his strength back and stuff. You know, it worked quite well. But I just think they could have, you know, that bit where, you know, Patrick Wilson's character in the first film was, you know, essentially, you know, the villain. Well, he was the villain in the first film. And you never really got the impression here that, you know, I wanted to feel like he's going to turn on him at any point, you know, and you never really got that. It's almost like they were best pals very, very quickly, and it just didn't wash with me, you know, just because he made a promise to his mum, Nicole Kidman, that they'd look after each other, sort of thing. So I do think there were some missed opportunities here with this film, but ultimately very, very entertaining at times as well. I mean, how many of us go to a DC film or a Marvel film and go and watch something that makes sense, or want it to make sense? It's a bloody superhero film at the end of the day. It's not really meant to make sense, and I can accept quite a few plot holes in films like this, and there are plenty of them here. And it also as well feels like that, I don't know, that there's something missing at the centre of the film, and it's because it's like the end of this DC era. You know, we all know that James Gunn is on board now, and he's taken over, and he's rebooting the DC universe to whatever he's going to do with it. So, you know, anybody that's like a massive fan of Jason Momoa's Aquaman, they know there's no future in this character, because he isn't going to be coming back, very likely. He's going to be, you know, repackaged, the Aquaman, and I suspect, you know, so why would people invest and go out and watch this when they know that, you know, that they're not going to get much in regards to investment in this character going forward? But ultimately, quite an entertaining film. I had quite a lot of fun with it. I was certainly entertained with it. I wasn't bored with it. It's just not exactly what you would describe as, you know, massively memorable or anything like that, but it is definitely not as bad as a lot of people are making out. It's certainly suitably entertaining, I think. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll be back with more content on the channel very, very soon.